Alright, today on the channel we're going to go over adjust volume. So I've got the head coil with the phantom in the bore, so we're just going to do register real quick patient. I use a service dude. Don't worry about the date of birth. Just going to put an age, a weight. We're going to do a head. Just try that here, brain. And head first supine, exam, confirm. Alright, so we're just going to run a real quick scout. Let's take a look here. See, again, it's adjusting the frequency, transmitter. Okay, so now we have our three views, our sagittal or coronal and our transverse or axial. One thing that Siemens does really well is that on a three-plane localizer like this, in the bottom right-hand corner of your DICOM image, it'll tell you what it is. So this is your field of view, 280 by 280, your sagittal, your coronal, and your transverse or axial. The other thing that if we were to look at this in the viewing task, so if we go to our exam explorer, and we go to dude, and we want to load that into viewing. So we're going to load to viewing. Remember, it's a Windows unit, so we can hover. So we go to viewing. Now this is our sagittal slice on that three-plane localizer. It'll tell us our TR, our TE, what coil we're using, which was the head, and this, all the rest of this stuff is DICOM compliant. You can change this in the software, what you want this to display, and anything that is displayed on the image is attached to the DICOM header when it sends to your archive device, PAX, whatever. So today we're going to go over adjust volume. It's not really used on head so much, but you can use it on knees, lumbars, especially axials, small things like wrists and ankles. You can use it on head if there is some metal in there. It's going to help you a little bit. What we're going to do is we're going to go to pan and zoom. Zoom and pan right there. Now, if you look here at the cursor, it's got the 4 arrows. That way you can move it. But if you go to the outside edge, you'll see those 2 squares. One's big, one's small. That means zoom and pan. So we're just going to zoom out a little bit. Alright, so there we are. So now we're going to set up our, let's say the axial flare. So we're going to do an axial flare. So we're going to open the protocol. And that's going to show us all of our sat bands and all of our slice groups, etc. Center that up just a little bit better. Now, let's say you were having an issue where it wasn't really fat setting correctly, or the image looked muted on one side and sharp on another, and you haven't had a PM in a while or something like that, and you're really trying to get this to look a lot better. Granted, this is a head protocol, so it's not going to be as effective if it were on a knee or a wrist or an ankle or something like that. But we're going to click on Brett Michaels over here, the guy with the bandana, the 3 pink lines. We're going to click on that. And that's going to open up the position toolbar. Now, I'm not going to go over all this stuff. We don't really need to know all that. But what we're looking for is right here in the bottom right-hand corner. And if you hover, it'll say adjust volume on and off. So if we click on adjust volume on or off, we're going to close our position toolbar. If you've noticed in the background here that our box went from yellow to green. And so what does that mean for us? Well, what does that mean for us is that now, I'm sorry if the camera's not focusing here, but what does that mean for us is that anything inside of this green box is now going to get 3D shimmed. And so it's going to actually adjust this box smaller to the anatomy that you're scanning instead of using the total shim. So now we're just going to click apply. And so if you look in the corner down here, it'll say adjusting 3D shim field map. And so what does that do for us? And again, I'm sorry about the camera if it's focusing here. What that's doing is that green box, it's actually creating a phantom shim, so to speak, over the image. And so now when it scans, the volume will be adjusted tighter instead of larger. And so it's going to scan, and that's one tip and trick that you can do if you're having a fat sat issue or a muted image issue, or if like one side is sharp and one side is not. You can adjust the volume over the image that you're scanning. One thing to take in mind is that if the yellow box doesn't fully turn green and you get a green box over the yellow box, just make sure that you adjust the green box to bigger than your field of view for the yellow box. Stay tuned for more tips and tricks, but that's just one way to help you get out of something in case you're in a jam. Enjoy. Talk soon.